Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. In this video, I'm going to do a comparison of graphing in Toto's new climate tool versus graphing in Google Sheets. First, we're going to go to RealClimateTools.com. Now we're going to click on Daily Station Temperatures. This brings up a graph of annual average daily maximum temperatures in Alabama. For this exercise, I want to look at temperatures at Logan, Iowa. So I'm going to change the state to Iowa. Now we're seeing annual average daily maximum temperatures in Iowa. You can see that their hottest year was 1931. Now let's switch from annual average to just temperatures for Logan. We're now looking at all 46,557 daily maximum temperatures recorded at Logan since the 19th century. You can see that their hottest temperature was 117 degrees Fahrenheit on July 25, 1936. Temperatures that hot in the upper Midwest are now completely incomprehensible to modern Americans. Now let's look at their longest stretch of days above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to come down here and select longest stretch above. Now I'm going to type in 90 for the value and press the search button. You can see that the longest stretch of days above 90 degrees Fahrenheit at Logan, Iowa occurred in 1936 from June 25th to July 29th. That's 35 consecutive days above 90 degrees in which they averaged 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Their hottest temperature during that stretch was 117 degrees. Now let's click on the Reset Zoom button and look at all of the temperatures recorded at Logan. Next, I want to just look at January temperatures. I'm going to select January from the drop-down menu. We're now looking at 3,958 January temperatures in which they averaged 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, let's go to February. During February, Logan averages 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to look at the other months by pressing the down arrow key on the keyboard. This is March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. One thing you might have noticed is that temperatures are much more variable during the winter than they are during the summer. During December, afternoon temperatures at Logan range from 72 degrees Fahrenheit all the way down to minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a range of 87 degrees for afternoon temperatures during just 1 month. Now let's compare that to July temperatures. During July, afternoon temperatures at Logan range from 117 degrees down to 62 degrees. That's a range of 55 degrees, which is much smaller than the range during December. Next, let's look at temperatures on different dates in October. We're going to select October 1st. This is all of the daily maximum temperatures at Logan, Iowa on October 1st, going back to the 19th century. On October 1st, Logan averages 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to look at all the other days using the down arrow key on the keyboard. This is October 2nd, when they average 74 degrees. 3rd, 4th. On October 31st, Logan averages 57.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Now what we're going to do is just look at temperatures during 1936. I'm going to go back and select all months. In the minimum X box, I'm going to type in 1936, and in the maximum X box, I'm going to type in 1937. Now we're looking at all 366 days during the leap year of 1936. Afternoon temperatures at Logan during 1936 ranged from minus 5 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 117 degrees. They averaged 63 degrees Fahrenheit during 1936. Now we're going to compare 1936 to 1937. We can do this very easily by just pressing the Y key on the keyboard, which represents year. During 1937, afternoon temperatures at Logan averaged 61 degrees Fahrenheit, with temperatures ranging from 0 degrees up to a maximum of 108 degrees. Now we're just going to do one more thing, which is to zoom in on a specific range of dates. We're going to do this by right-clicking and dragging a rectangle with the mouse. What we're seeing now is just temperatures from July 31st, 1937 up to August 28th. We've seen a lot of information and we did it in just a few minutes. And in this video, we are just scratching the surface of the capabilities of this tool. Next, let's attempt to do the same thing in a spreadsheet like Google Sheets or Excel. If we look at the bottom of the screen, we can see the web address where the data for Logan, Iowa is located. It's right here. I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to paste that URL into a web browser and see what happens. Chrome no longer supports FTP addresses, so it's asking me if I want to try to open it in Microsoft Edge. So let's do that. Let's see what happens when we paste the address into Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge just ignored it. Most web browsers now don't support FTP addresses, so we've got a problem. They're making it very difficult for us to get the data. What I'm going to do instead is use a Linux terminal to download the data. I typed in wget with the URL. Let's see what happens. Looks like this time we're actually downloading the data. Let's take a look now and see what the data looks like. That's quite a mess. It's probably going to take you a considerable amount of time to figure out what this data means. The good news though is that in the app I've made it real easy to download the entire data set in a usable form. All we have to do is click on the screenshot button, which will download 2 files. The first file is just an actual screenshot. That's what we're looking at now. The second file is a CSV file. It shows all the data organized as month, day, year, date, and temperature. Now let's go to Google Sheets and import the data which we just downloaded. It's a pretty big file with tens of thousands of data points, so it took a while for the file to load and open. Now let's create a graph of all of the data for Logan. It's taken a little while because there's a lot of data. I'm going to tell it to use column D for labels and to use row 2 as headers. Once again, it's taken a little while because there's a lot of data. Now I'm going to change the chart type to a line chart. And I'm going to make the chart bigger so that we can see it more easily. So we just spent a few minutes creating a very basic temperature chart for all of the data in Logan, Iowa. But unfortunately, there's not much we can do with this graph. We can't zoom or pan. Anything we change on it is going to take a very long time. If we wanted to sort by month or day, we couldn't use this graph. We would have to go over here, select all this data, sort it, and create a new graph. In other words, each time we change the graph, it's going to take us several minutes of work. It's taken us a long time to do the same things we can do instantly in the graphing tool, and there's many things you can't do in a spreadsheet at all. What if we wanted to change stations or change states? We'd have to start the whole process over again. This process is a huge waste of time and makes it very difficult to extract any meaningful information. I think I'll just stick with the graphing tool where I can change the month very easily. I can change the day of the month very easily. I can change the station we're looking at very easily. I can zoom very easily. I can pan very easily. And once again, we're just scratching the surface of the capabilities of this tool. Graphing with this tool is much easier to learn than graphing with a spreadsheet. And the capabilities are vastly superior to a spreadsheet. This graph shows all 176 100-degree days reported at Belle Plaine, Iowa. The last one occurred 9 years ago in 2013, and as you can see, prior to 1960, Belle Plaine, Iowa was much hotter than it is now. Toto created this tool to make it easy for people to determine whether what they're being told about climate by politicians in the press is accurate. And it's pretty easy to figure out using this tool that most of the information we're hearing about climate has nothing to do with reality. Toto's been pulling back the curtain on this climate scam for the past 14 years. You can visit him, Kyrie Caesar, Toki and Upla on the web at realclimatescience.com.